Thokchom MEINYA ji. No, further let him make, no, I will tell him for him also, because he, as a sportsman, he has made very good suggestions.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand here to welcome and support the National Sports University Bill 2018. Manipur National Sports University as wari si akoyamutang pulaptami na bayay yaman nungay wari ni Prime Minister na National Sports University si Manipur da lingkhan bagi damakta haibi khromatung da ing lising ani tara mari tara mangagi union budget ta lupa koti cham haptuna laikhrabani adubu Manipur sarkar na su masi sara bagi damakta Manipur gi lam Ekar sahum kunmanga dasmik mapan nasi khak tuna koktruk eba jaga du leirabani yaman nungai rabadi hauki bachahi ing sosta treta August ki tang tara da National Sports University Bill 2017 gi bill asi Lok Sabha da puthokrabani adugi matung da standing committee da thadaraga standing committee gi report su lakhrabani hauki budget session asi da aikoi masi gi bill asi pass to hoba yabani chumi budget session adu yam langki marak adu da sukan khanadana union budget pass tawgi atei bill kya su pass tawgi adu loina na Manipur gi tani khakadari ba National Sports University bill su pass tawgi ma yabani Mr. Chairman sir, normally we are never in favor of any ordinance as a matter of fact, having assumed that the National Sports University Bill 2017, which I referred just now, would have been passed in the budget session of the Parliament itself. 2 courses have already been started by the Ministry in the otherwise well-equipped Kumbalampak Sports Complex, which was the venue of the last 5th National Games. And these students would have suffered for want of legal and statutory sanction. This was perhaps an absolute necessity for an ordinance. Hence, I would say that the Union government took a decision for an ordinance. But, sir, this is not a good precedent. Sir, the National Sports University Ordinance 2018, number 5, was promulgated on 31st May 2018. And thus, the National Sports University in Manipur has come into existence with effect from that day, that is 31st May 2018. A red letter day for the country and for the state of Manipur as well. So, day before yesterday, the National Sports University Bill 2018 was taken up for consideration and passing. Better late than never remains the only explanation in our life. I request all my honorable colleagues in this august house to support the bill wholeheartedly and let us pass it simultaneously. Sir, the National Sports University will be the first of its kind, full-fledged sports university of international standard. The areas of study so proposed comprise of sports science, sports medicine, sports technology, sports management, and highly performance sports training, etc. As of now, there are some institutes in the country which offer various courses for athletes and the coaches. However, a void still exists in the sports environment of the country in various fields which I mentioned just above. The proposed National Sports University in Manipur is expected to bridge this gap and fill this void. I congratulate the Union Government and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and wish them best of luck. Sir, with the establishment of this National Sports University, I wish and hope that in 10 to 12 years' time to come, we will be able to produce athletes of more medals in Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and Olympics. Because with the introduction of this new sports technology, management and advanced coaching, there will definitely be a sea change in the overall standard and performance of our players. Further, taking into account of the fact that ours is a very big populous state, by providing high-quality sports training and adopting quality international practices, sports practices, India can become the sports powerhouse in the near future. Sir, it is a well-known fact that India has the presence of a potential indigenous games and sports. I strongly believe that the National Sports University will certainly promote our indigenous games like kabaddi, kho-kho, etc., Sagol Kangje, polo, Thangta martial arts of Manipur, and also the game like Kalaria Palyatu of Kerala. Sir, I am privileged to inform this House that because of the huge presence of indigenous games and sports in my state, Manipur, our children, boys and girls, could do so well in games and sports, particularly in the country sports. We have, over and above our famous polo and thangta, equally competitive Muna Kangje, Kang, Yubilakpi, etc. To mention a few, Manipur has produced a good number of international players, including Olympians, in the field of hockey, boxing, weightlifting, cycling, archery, judo, football. You may kindly remember that in the last under-19 Indian team, Manipur has 8 players in the team of 11 players. Mr. Minister, I would like to mention particularly that we felt very much elated when our Olympic medalist, Miss Mary Kom, was nominated to the Rajya Sabha by the government. With all humility, I do propose that this National Sports University be dedicated to those sports persons of the country, including your good self, and the sports persons of the state of Manipur, in particular, who brought laurels of the country and in the field of games and sports. We are very confident that, Mr. Minister, you and all of you, for that matter, could have performed much better had all these improved modern facilities of international standard were made available to you at that point of time. Mr. Chairman, it is heartening to know that to make this National Sports University a world-class university, MOUs have been signed by the Government of India with 2 Australian universities, namely Canberra and Victoria universities, for the development of curriculum, research facilities, and laboratories. Although there are provisions for establishing outlying campuses, regional centers, and study centers, my humble request and rather demand to the Honorable Sports Minister is that let us first of all develop the mother campus at Kautruk in Manipur state. In the beginning, let us give first priority to set up the mother campus with the filling of the statutory bodies of the universities and statutory post universities like Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Proctor, Deans, etc. Here I would like to point out that though Proctor is very much a member of the court of the university and also the council, it appears that in the list of the officers of the university in clause number 8, Proctor is not there. And at the same time, it is not defined under clause 2 of the Act also. I think it can be taken up under the statute. Lastly, sir, Manipur is recognized as the home of polo, the modern form of our Sagol Kangje, a game played riding on the horse. Sagol means horse, Kangje means a cane stick. Our horses are small in size, so Britishers call them pony. The Britishers started playing polo in Imphal and the Kasar. Encyclopedia Britannica, Guinness Book have recorded that the modern game of polo is originated from the state of Manipur. We do organize regular international polo tournaments in Imphal every year. So, sir, I request the Honorable Union Minister of Sports to set up an institute of polo, a polo institute in Manipur under this National Sports University. This will be a great blessing and a good gesture to all polo lovers of the world. This will also be an icing on the cake for the people of Manipur. Once again, sir, I wholeheartedly support the bill. Jai.
Honorable Speaker, sir, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak for the first time. Sir, I bow down to my Supreme Court, Guru Nongdalaren Pakhangba, and also salute to the people of Manipur for empowering me to say some of the few words here. Sir, Manipur was a princely state and it was merged to Indian Union in the year 1950, 15th October, with the intention that the territorial boundary of the Manipur, erstwhile Manipur, will be protected by the Union government. But what happened? We lost 20,201 square kilometers of Manipur's land. Means Indian territory land has been given to the the present-day Myanmar. And again in 10th March 1967, Indo-Burma Boundary Commission, again further, our border has been receded towards the valley area. So we lost, and till today, there is a lot of unsettled territorial boundary, unsettled international boundary along the Indo-Myanmar international boundary line. So if there be any means to review the Indo-Myanmar Boundary Commission and also demarcation in the year 1975 so that the people's aspiration may be safe, otherwise the anti-Indian feelings of the common people is rising because of this loss of the territorial boundary. Thank you.
Been a silence. There would not have been a silence in this house, nor in the presidential address. Yes. This must be registered.
Please raise your point of order.
If you wanted to doubt the nationality and the nationalism of the people of that state, you must realize that these people have fought for the country. These people have brought Lural to this country. Please remember this. And that is what the silence means.
1 second.
And I am telling you this.
मेरी कौम को हमने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बनाया, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बनाया। हमने कैसे नहीं इज्जत दी मणिपुर को? मणिपुर को स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी दिया। और आपसा जो है, मैं एक ऐसा आदमी हूं कि मेरे मामा को मणिपुर में गोली लगी।
5 years after independence, can you negate this fact? We are talking about the inclusion of the Northeast history after 75 years. That's a classic exclusion. India was an anthropological subject, not a historical subject in the eyes of the colonial forces. And today, the Northeast remains outside of the history of the Indian history textbook. That is why you treat them as the other. And that's the silence. And the silence on the Manipur tragedy is not unique. It is a reflection of this general continuity of the colonial in the post-colonial. It is sad to see a nationalist party like the BJP will feel comfortable with this silence on the tragedy of Manipur. Keep your hands on your heart and think about the 60,000 people who are linguistic in relief camps. And those mothers, those widows, think of them. And then you talk about nationalism.
Point is made. He made
Only
his point.
then we will understand what this tragedy means. And Mr. Chairman, the hurt, the anger has thrown a nobody like me to be part of this temple of democracy. Bidding the BJP cabinet minister think about the pain. If you hear an anxiety, anguish and a pain in my voice, please go back and see those 60,000 people linguisting in the relief camp. Don't talk about partition remembrance till you bring that. I would keep quiet the moment the Prime Minister opened his mouth and a nationalist party says that Manipur is part of India and we care for the people of that state. Only then I will accept what is nationalism in our face.
I am calling Sri A.B. AKOIJAM to please speak.
Thank you for this time. As I get up to speak on a troublesome moment in the history of India that has never happened, called the tragedy of Manipur, which is sought to be silenced by the government. And it is an irony that such an important matter which is sought to be silenced gets an opportunity as the midnight hour approaches. And this reminds me of the fact that people in my home state, the time is 2 hours ahead of Delhi. And we have been dancing on the tune of Delhi and the time that is supposed to be approaching 12 at the moment. People like Janu Barua and others have demanded for years that Northeast should have a separate time zone. Only then you will be able to live with dignity and a sense of well-being. The kind of priority that I can sense is this moment that I get a chance to speak. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm just Mr. Chairman, I'm drawing your attention to the absence of Manipur in the President's address. This is not a simple absence. It is a reminder of a Rashtra Chetna which excludes people. You must realize that more than 60,000 people are languishing in relief camp in wretched conditions for the last 1 year. If anybody is read partition of this subcontinent, which I have done, I was associated with a research project. We have interviewed more than 1,500 survivors of partition of 1947, and you are witnessing the same thing. People are living in wretched conditions that I cannot even mention here. 60,000 people homeless is not a joke. 200 plus people died. And there has been a civil war-like situations where people are armed to the teeth and roaming around and fighting each other, defending their villages. And the Indian state is a mute spectator to this tragedy for 1 year. I must remind this House that each and every square centimeter of Manipur is covered by a central armed forces. It is one of the most militarized areas in this country where you have more armed policemen than the civil police, besides the armed forces of the Union. Despite this, how is that 60,000 people were rendered homeless and villages in thousands were destroyed? And yet, our Prime Minister remained mute, not even a word. And the presidential address did not even mention that.
Shame, 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 shame.
And I said that this silence is not normal. It is a reminder of the fact which many scholars have said, that there is a continuity between colonial and the post-colonial period. Today we are observing a day where we begin a new criminal laws seemingly discarding the colonial heritage. But as Ashish Nandi says, colonialism is a state of mind. It is a psychological phenomenon. It is an outlook, the way you look at the people, the way you look at the world. And the fact that this continuity is shown by neglecting the tragedy of a state, which is the 19th state of the Union. It is amazing to see that I get an opportunity as the midnight hour approaches to register this anguish and this hurt of the denial that this country has meted out to its own citizens in the state of Manipur. I must ask these questions to the House. Is this silence communicating to the people of the Northeast, and Manipur in particular, that you don't matter in the Indian state scheme of things? Major Laisam Jotin, who was awarded Ashok Chakra while grappling with suicide bomber, was a Manipuri, who was awarded Ashok Chakra. You are dishonoring his own state. Major Ngangom Joy Datta, who was awarded Veer Chakra while fighting for this country and doing his duty as a part of the peacekeeping force in Sri Lanka in 1987. You are dishonoring this man. You are dishonoring the likes of the youths who hold the tricolor in international platforms. The likes of Mary Kom, Sarita Kunjarani, and Mirabai Chanu. You are saying that you don't matter in this country. Your state doesn't matter in this country. You are also saying that the likes of Ratan Thiam, the icon of the culture of this country, Harivam Sham Sharma, don't matter in this country. If you have an iota of concern for this state, there would not have been a silence. There would not have been a silence in this House, nor in the presidential address. This must be registered.
Please raise your point of order.
If you wanted to doubt the nationality and the nationalism of the people of that state, you must realize that these people have fought for the country. These people have brought Lural to this country. Please remember this. And that is what the silence means.
1 second.
And I am telling you this.
मेरी कौम को हमने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बनाया, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बनाया। हमने कैसे नहीं इज्जत दी मणिपुर को? मणिपुर को स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी दिया। और आपसा जो है, मैं एक ऐसा आदमी हूं कि मेरे मामा को मणिपुर में गोली लगी, वो सीआरपीएफ के डीआईजी थे, इनको शहीद नहीं पता है। और 1956 में पहला आपसा मणिपुर में लगा और 1956 से आज तक कांग्रेस के कारण मणिपुर की यह स्थिति है।
5 years after independence, can you negate this fact? We are talking about the inclusion of the Northeast history after 75 years. That's a classic exclusion. India was an anthropological subject, not a historical subject in the eyes of the colonial forces. And today, the Northeast remains outside of the history of the Indian history textbook. That is why you treat them as the other. And that's the silence. And the silence on the Manipur tragedy is not unique. It is a reflection of this general continuity of the colonial in the post-colonial. It is sad to see a nationalist party like the BJP will feel comfortable with this silence on the tragedy of Manipur. Keep your hands on your heart and think about the 60,000 people who are linguistic in relief camps. And those mothers, those widows, think of them. And then you talk about nationalism.
Point is made. He made
Only
his point.
then we will understand what this tragedy means. And Mr. Chairman, the hurt, the anger has thrown a nobody like me to be part of this temple of democracy. Beating the BJP cabinet minister, think about the pain. If you hear an anxiety, anguish, and a pain in my voice, please go back and see those 60,000 people linguisting in the relief camp. Don't talk about partition remembrance till you bring that. I would keep quiet the moment the Prime Minister opened his mouth and a nationalist party says that Manipur is part of India and we care for the people of that state. Only then I will accept what is nationalism in our face. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.